everyone, Daisy here with a layout for the SHIMMERZ design team and WHIMSY Stamps Instagram hop, and I decided to do a process video with this as well. I will have a link down below to the Instagram for SHIMMERZ, and you can start there and hop through everybody's. But I am using the Favorite Flake WHIMSY stamp. And it is a clear stamp, and I'm starting out by gessoing a white piece of paper, and then I'm going to set this off to the side to dry. I got one of those amazing silicone brushes that Missy uses to spread her gesso around the paper, and I have to say I'm in love. It's really great. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. I think it was $6.99, and I used the 40% coupon. So this stamp is so stinking cute. So it has a unicorn and a girl, and they have their tongues sticking out like they're catching snowflakes on their tongues. And then it also has this adorable little bunny that looks like it's looking at them like they're crazy. So I'm going to stamp this using some StazOn ink because I want to obviously watercolor these using some SHIMMERZ paints. And I stamped it twice. The first time I forgot to prep my stamp, and since it's a new stamp, really what you need to do is like rub it on your hand or use an eraser or something to prep the stamp, or you can stamp it multiple times to kind of get that going. And so I cut out the best versions out of the two stamps because I think one of them, the girl, turned out better, and the other one, the two animals, turned out better. So now I'm working on my background. I cut them out. I cut all that out because you don't need to watch me fussy cut. It took me like forever in a day because I'm the slowest fussy cutter in the world. And so now I am creating my background, and I'm using a bunch of different blue colors. They're all sprays. And I started out with the Jenny B Blue Vibes, and then I added the Sapphire Spritz, the Walking a Tight Heliotrope, which is that purple color, and that's also a spritz, and the Vibes Frostbite. I think that's, yeah, pretty sure that's all the colors that I added there. I think I do come in and add some Plum Tuckered Out in the end as well. So now to color in all of my little stamps here, I'm going to be using quite a few different colors. So I did speed this up a lot because it takes me a while. This first one is a SHIMMERZ, and it is Sugar Plum. It's a beautiful purple color, and so I'm using a very tiny brush and just kind of painting in parts of each of the stamps. This one is Pixie Dust, and it doesn't really have a color, so it's pretty much white, I guess, but it has like large, gorgeous, like chunks of glitter in it, and so I'm using that to color in the unicorn. I'm also going to color in the girl's tights and her face, and then like the parts of the hat, like the pom-pom and the rim of the hat, the brim of the hat. And you can even see right now with the unicorn like how shiny that makes it. This next one is Wisteria Lane, and it's another beautiful purple color. This one is kind of a bluish purple, and it's called Sky's the Limit. And this one is it a Creamies? Yes, it is a Creamies, so you do have to activate it using some water. This one is Ultramarine. It's a beautiful blue color, and it's a shimmer, so it's already like moistened for you, I guess. And it's got beautiful shimmer. And now I'm using this red, which is Buddy's favorite color, and coloring in the two Santa hats on the bunny and the girl, and then I'm coloring in the unicorn's words are escaping me. The scarf, that's the word I'm looking for. And this color isn't like a red, it's more like a pinky red almost, and I love it. Like, it is, I'm so happy that I got this one. I almost didn't, but I'm so happy that I got it. And now I'm using Miner 49er, which is an Inklings, and it is super shiny. It's very gold, and so I'm using it to color in the girl's hair. And then this one is Blue Lagoon, which is another Inklings, and so super shimmery. Needs to be activated with water, and I just use it to color in her gloves and boots. And then I'm using the pink stilettos to kind of add a little pink to their cheeks. So I dab a little dot on and then dry it off. And I had to do it a couple of times until I got the color that I wanted. And now, yes, look at that background. Super happy with it. I did have to use a little bit, or dab up a little bit, because it did get a little, like, there was a little bit of pooling, I guess, of the water, which is fine, but I was being very impatient and wanted to just get to work. So here I'm off camera looking for my white embossing powder because I also want to do some embossing on the background. So, tip. I should have let this dry completely. Like, don't use your heat tool. Make sure that it is dry. Luckily, I only have a little mistake on one part that you can't even see because it's covered up. But if you're going to be embossing, you don't want anything other than your embossing medium to be wet, because the embossing powder will stick to any wet areas. Just so you know. Learn from my mistake. And that's something that I know, but I just was too impatient and wanted to get this done, so whatever. So off of the stamp set, I pulled all of the snowflakes, and then there's like this little polka dots that make it look like glittering snow. And I'm just using some Versamark ink and then some Nuvo white embossing powder. And right there, you see it? Yep, that's because it was still a little wet there. So I'm trying to fix it. Doesn't matter. That part ends up being covered up anyhow. Really, it's just like that one snowflake doesn't turn out very crisp, but look at that. I love embossing. I mean, I hate embossing. It's so messy. It drives me crazy, but it's so pretty when it's done. So, yep, just gonna keep working. It's like magic watching the powder melt, and and then on this background, like, this looks amazing. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. Magic, look at it happen. Woo! So I go close to the edge of the mixed media. There's a couple of places where I think I went off a little bit, but yeah, I tried to stay on the blue background because you're really not going to see it on the white background anyhow. And so now it's just a matter of stamping and then embossing. A couple of other tips for embossing, besides don't have a wet background, is try to clean the edge of your stamp block off, because sometimes it will touch down and then you'll get little lines in your stamping. So in between, like, I was trying to wipe the edge of my block off just to try to avoid that. I did end up with a couple of lines in there, but again, it's covered up, so it's fine. And then I'm going to come in and fill in a couple of these spots using the polka dot, like, floating snowflake things. And another thing you can do is use a clean, dry paintbrush to try to brush any excess powder off that doesn't want to come off, but also flicking or tapping the back will help you clean that up. So now I'm just trying to get the powder off. Powder never comes off. So I have this cut file, and this is from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I just cut it in like an 8x8 size, and I used some parchment paper, which is similar to vellum, and cut it out on that, just for an added layer. And then I'm using these photos. So last year we had a really bad snowstorm, and the snow was like hanging off of our garage roof in a very unnatural angle. And I kept saying, we need to knock that down, we need to knock that down, or it's gonna like pull the gutter off, like we gotta take care of that. And we just didn't think about it until my daughter's like, I'm gonna go do it. So I got some photos of her knocking the snow shelf off, and yeah, it was kind of funny. So I started out with 4 photos, but I can't make it fit, so I do take one of them out, because 2 of them are really similar. So but I got her like smiling up at it and trying to knock it down with a shovel, and then I got the picture of the snow actually falling off, and then the before photo as well. And then just trying to figure out where I'm going to stick them. So I had it this way, and then for some reason I rotate the photo the paper all the way around. Oh, because there's that hole in the cut file. I had accidentally ripped one of the snowflakes off, so I wanted to cover that hole, and instead of rotating the cut file, I rotated the whole page. And then I'm going to just snip this like top line of snowflakes off so that they will kind of pop out above the photos at the top. And then I also put some silver thread behind it. Not a whole lot of it ends up poking out, but it ends up showing in enough places that it made it worth it. So just sticking those down. I did pop them up on some fun foam. I stuck these down before sticking the cut file down because it is made out of parchment paper. It's going to warp a little bit, so I wanted to use as little glue as possible. So I'm just putting some thin little dots around to stick them down. And then I think I'm going to add my title next, because I wanted to be sure that I knew where I wanted the little stamped buddies to hang out. So I'm going to come in with the, I think it's from the Heidi Swapp Old School collection. And it is like a white print that has like a newspaper print in gray on top of it. And I'm just going to call it Let It Snow. I know, super original, especially for like our area. We live in Wisconsin, so it snows all the time. I probably have like a million layouts with this title, but it works. I mean, it does. So we're just going to go with it. And I'm not going to be too careful about getting them on there straight. Like, they end up a little bit wonky, and it's fine. And I'm so happy with how these little characters turned out. They are like the perfect embellishments for this layout. So I put the girl on one side, and then I'm going to kind of line it up so that her and the unicorn are like sitting on the same level, if that makes sense. So like if you pretended the ground was there, they're sitting on the same ground instead of having one higher and one lower. So when I glue down the unicorn, he's going to end up being, you're going to see me try to line him up a little bit. And then I just have the bunny just kind of randomly up there by the title. And yeah, they're so cute. Look at how cute they are. So then I'm going to pull in these dots, and I got this set that has these watercolor hearts, and then the only other one I had left on there said delightful, but it works out. So I'm going to put all 3 of them on here. And I'm just trying to make sure that they're not perfectly lined up, but they were like the perfect colors with the colors that I used to to paint the stamps, so I had to use them. And then I'm going to pull out some Spiegel Mom Scrap sequins and use those. This is a mix called Cold Days Ahead, and it had a bunch of snowflakes on it, so it was just perfect. So again, this is for an Instagram hop. I will have the links down below so that you can check out the hop and see everybody else participating. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am so in love with this layout. The only thing left that I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the outside edge with a black pen and add a doodly border with some little snowflakes. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, head on over and check out the hop, and I will see you again next time. Bye!